Buddy, let me just post everything. You know how it is. Blah, de, blah, de, blah. Gotta post on Twitter because it's the how you do stuff. It's how you do stuff. I even caught my stream before it said anything on stream, so you didn't get to hear my lovely voice twice in a row. By the way, sorry if I slur my words a lot. I've realised I've been doing it a lot more recently. And it's slightly worrying, but I'm sure I'm fine, you know? Anyway, I thought we'd start a bit earlier for multiple reasons. One, I was sitting here and I didn't know what to do. And two, it might take a metric ton of time before we actually get into the game itself. Right, so let's immediately do this. And let's see how this whole thing is. I don't expect it to take that long, because this is around the time most people get on. So hopefully, I mean, with the fact that the player queue is 27 people means it's relatively full. If I was instantly getting in, I'd be worried. I'd be very, very worried. And it's not one of those really out there ones that nobody searches for. Because there is still a couple people that are actually doing this story. Here it is. Remember this? You know, we're going to start this because I know it'll take forever. Look at that. Average wait time, 14 minutes. So what does everyone want to talk about while we wait? Because we have a bit of time. Because if that says 14 minutes, it really means later. You know what I'm going to do, actually, while I'm waiting here? System config. Every time it turns to that, I want it on borderless. Yes. There. That means that now, if I want to have a look at some of the stuff you guys are doing, or if I have to ban somebody, I can instantly. I like getting rid of literally everything food related in my inventory. It's going to be interesting to fight. It very much feels like this thing is about equivalent to the person we fought in Shadowbringers. In terms of power level, it kind of feels like that at the very least. Because it's like, on one hand, the Ascians probably don't have as much raw power as this thing does. I'm not calling it Sphene because it's not really Sphene anymore, if we're being honest. But on the flip side, I'm not sure if it's got the techniques. I'm not sure if it's got all the tricks up its sleeve, all the sort of old magic that the Ascians seem to have. By the way, I got a follow from somebody from my work, which, look, there's a good chance they never watch, right? There's always a good chance. It was such a nice thing for them to do. I'm going to turn down this music slightly because I can't hear myself think. What is this considered? Just turn the machine volume by like that much. They may just like, they may never watch, but the fact that there's one more person following me that is actually a person, you know, is actually a person that I know exists and I know isn't trying to do it for any ulterior motive in any capacity. Huge bonus for me, frankly. Huge bonus to the self-esteem. See, this is why I didn't really like doing the raid stuff on stream, and why that was probably one of the lower points of the FF14 streams, is because this bit is so annoying. And I'm sure, like, the more popular streamers can just get a group of people that follow them all around to just decide to do it. But obviously I don't have that. Pardon me. I don't have that luxury. You tell you what, let me turn on my light. I don't have that luxury, obviously, and I'm slightly worried when it comes to this. I'm slightly worried that people are going to get annoyed about my inability to do X or Y, you know? I'm hopeful that I can just follow them. But if I find a particular DPS that I think I'm like, I can probably follow them and they'll be fine. But the problem is, though, that because this fight is just a trial, it is very likely that the fight is going to be a very long one. Because that's literally all you're doing in this, is you're just fighting it. My guess, by the way, these circular contraptions that are like weirdly turbines or stuff, I think they're going to come off of the person. They're going to come to either side, either here or there, or maybe behind us, and they're going to shoot beams or produce wind that pushes you off the edge. I hope it's not the secondary one, because I hate abilities where they push you off the edge. They're so annoying to deal with. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. As I said, this is one of the reasons why I started early, is because I knew most of the stream is going to be me doing this while waiting for it to waiting for the trial to pop. It's why I'm so happy that they have the NPCs for most of it, and I understand why they're not here, because they would have to go out of their way to figure out a way of why you can still have them as allies even though they just disappeared. Although I will argue that them just disappearing was a bit out of nowhere, but even if they were here, you wouldn't have enough for a trial, right? You'd only have enough for a dungeon. Look, the average has already gone up, which is weird because normally it only goes up when you hit that point. Which kind of means, I guess, that maybe there's somebody else searching and they haven't got it either. If we look at duties and we go to Duty Finder, these things still exist, I guess. But you're probably not going to appear in a lot of them. I mean, you only appear on this one, right? I could use this time to go and find, like, aetherites and stuff, but I kind of feel like you miss the feel of it when you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave and I'll come back later, kind of thing, you know? I initially started this with the idea to midway through switch to using, like, the Viper or one of the other DPS classes. But I guess along the way, I just was like, I'll stick to the one I know, you know? Same, this one apparently disappeared. I don't even remember what that one was. What do you get for level 100, actually, out of interest? Oh, you get something at 96. That's the AoE. Do I have that? Really didn't feel like I did. Or this. What do they do? Attack with potency, additional effect increases KK. Okay, and it's instant. Okay, that's kind of good. Can only be exercised under the effect of Zashin's Ready. Is this one? No. Zashin's Ready is probably the full thing that we do. I got this. Cannot be assigned to the hotbar. Shinganshi turns into it. So what turns into it? This turns... Oh, the repeat turns into it. The repeat turns into an AoE or a special single target. Or... What? Interesting. Is it dependent on how many of these, what you repeat, that you get it? Interesting. I might have had these for a while now and I just haven't been hitting them. In fact, I've definitely had them for at least this one for 8 levels. In terms of what I'm going to do after this, because obviously it won't take 2 hours, at least I hope it won't take 2 hours. My plan is very likely to just continue the story. Because there's still at least one version of patch quests left. So I could definitely do that. I know I said I'd do the blue quests once I was done here. But I'm not sure if that's actually true. If I'll actually do that. Because I am quite interested to see where the story goes. And I don't think the blue quests are as interesting. In fact, I feel like realistically I should have done those when I first was in the area. I think it would have flowed better. At least in my opinion. But what can you do? Hindsight and all that. I think we've lost a DPS, by the way. Just heads up. And it's gone up by another 3 minutes. In the past 4 minutes. So we've only gained a minute. Oh, I forgot that that was also a food. It's going to be really annoying if we go through all of this and I fail. And the annoying thing is, I think there's a good chance about that. Do you think the upper arms are inherently slightly longer because they've got further to go? Also, aren't these arms kind of blocked by these shoulder pads? Oh, wait, no, I think they're floating. I don't think they're connected. Never mind, they're floating. Those arms are... Oh! We're ready! Please, please just click it ready up. Please, I'm begging you. Party? 1 DPS. You better click yes. I understand you wouldn't have been ready. You would have thought it would have taken 20 minutes. But I swear to God. Please. That's a cool name, Silverstorm. Oh, there's not a single Hrothgar with me. I have to rep the Hrothgar. Legitimate force. What a name. Oh, it's half the map. Okay. Oh, I see it. I see it now. Sorry, it took me a second. Okay, this is a fine ability. I feel sorry for that guy. Surely he should move. I mean, surely we're safe here. And he did it twice there. Yeah. Virtual shift. That feels like a second phase ability. What the? Surely it's not as simple as that. Like that we just can't be in that area. I mean, just directly here is the right spot, right? Never mind. I wasn't close enough. Yeah, I'll accept. I don't understand what I missed there, if I'm being completely honest. It felt like everybody was in the exact same spot, but... what can you do? I obviously missed something. I wasn't looking at the screen for a second there. Did something happen? I'm an idiot. I've just noticed that my starting ability is the thing that I was like... no. AoE? Don't bring me to the area I failed at. Oh. Is this hole in the wall? It was hole in the wall.
Do not be afraid.
I love how one of her abilities is called Legitimate Force. Because that's kind of her whole shtick. Just that she sort of thinks it's a legitimate force. When obviously she's not. She's gone borderline insane. Are those wheels seriously not going to come off? Reserve power? No. You can stick with regular power. Is this a powering up ability? What the hell was that? Thank you kindly. It'd be kind of cool if they had an ability that was like... where like, what's the word? Because she's all about like death not being eternal, like, death not being the end. There's like a special ability you can do while dead with her. That'd be really cool. Oh. You should really get the other person up. This is why I like to be with other. Because I don't want to be a downer to other people. As you can obviously see right here, kind of a downer. Like I bring them, I make them revive me a hell of a lot more than like they need to. Yes, continue with this ability. I like this ability because I know how to dodge it. Oh, don't do that big attack again. Right. Oh, never mind, that was scripted.
There! A rift in her reality! She's losing control of the power!
Proclama.
Listen to me! I understand! I do! And I know that you won't be swayed from your course!
Ooh.
But if there's truly no other way to resolve this,
I think this is rare. I don't think we've seen something like this.
not as a machine, but as the real you!
Lamachi.
Spain!
Anomaly detected in memory banks. Data for the endless speed partially restored.
This is what I desire, and I will not fail.
Oh, damn. Arcane.
I can't bear to lose them. Not again.
I feel your pain, as if it were my own! At last, I think I know you! All of you!
How can you say that to me now?
What do you mean? You've literally seen every part of you.
It's over, Sphene! We will stop you!
No, I won't let you. I can't. I will protect my people's happiness.
Leave your burden with us now! We will bear it in your stead!
Oh, she's saying something similar to what she said to her father. Or what she did for her father. I like that the second half seems to be more like a cinematic fight. Oh, that's always nice. I'm glad everybody is nice and says GG, even though I was definitely a liability. Goes to the other person who's playing this. Let's take a quick drink. I think we got a cutscene coming on. A long one.
Sphene!
Your voice reached me, Lamachi.
Which is surprising. I thought they deleted you.
Is it really you?
About as much as all the others were.
No, only in part. My memories as a living person are gone. I've been remade from those I had as an endless.
Your own person then.
However, I cannot remain long, for the meso-terminal will soon cease to function. Once, you wanted to know me, Lamachi. Let my last act be to give an honest accounting.
Okay.
I am, above all, sorry for the suffering I've caused your people and mine. I am ultimately powerless against the inevitable, unable to do aught but visit harm upon the innocent. I am, in the end, a pitiful, selfish creature. One that should never have been created.
That's not true. That final bit. You strove to make your people happy. I can't fault you for that.
Our nations are worlds apart, but they feel so close. Who knows what we could have accomplished had we walked together towards a shared future.
It would be borderline impossible.
Could never be so. We each had our own to protect.
If only I had met you when I was still alive, then perhaps. But it's no use dwelling upon a miracle that didn't happen. Still, if there's one thing I hope you'll believe, it is this. Brief though it was, I treasured our time together. It pains me to think that its memory will disappear along with me.
No! The memory lives on in us!
I know I have no right to ask this of you, but when I'm gone, my people, will you?
Of course, that king is literally her, I guess, nephew?
We'll take care of them. Don't worry. And we will never forget the Endless. Neither them, nor the time we spent with you.
I thought that was a hologram.
So be free of your burdens, Sphene. And sleep well.
You know, this does kind of remind me a bit of the Gods raid. Except they knew their time was up and they were kind of like the good version of this, quote unquote.
I will. Thank you.
Oh. Well, it's time for us to go. Oh, I guess we're souls. I forgot about that. We're souls, aren't we? I guess it's also in soul form?
Farewell, my beloved Alexandria.
I wonder if the other Endless, the ones in the Meso Terminal, could still see that fight, see her final moments. I hope they did. I really hope they did. It'd be a good ending. I wonder what this thing is. You reckon it's Ascian tech? It would make sense if it was Ascian tech. It is kind of insane that these people had comparable technology to Allagan's, if not kind of implied to be better than theirs. I do also find it weird that we never met any bad members, quote unquote, of the Perseverance or whatever. Woof, that's the end. I think with the end of this, I can actually talk about what my... Never mind, let's talk it still.
And the endless departed for oblivion's embrace. Their resplendent paradise was no more, as the memory sustaining it faded with the golden light. Even so, in a way, they live on. This I felt with conviction, as I basked in the glow of a new dawn.
It doesn't look like Sphene. The statue. Do you reckon I got enough time to start talking now? I'll wait until the credits appear. Which I think... No, almost off, never mind. Oh, there's a Stinian. He didn't really do much in the actual overarching story. But with they only have...
It remains to be seen how interdimensional fusion may have affected other reflections. Kryle's parents spoke of the power's capacity for both good and evil. I cannot help but wonder how Sphene's deeds will be remembered by those they touched.
Hopefully for good intentions, bad results.
The key that started it all was entrusted to the adventurer. Such an artifact certainly lies within the Scion's realm of expertise, and no objection was raised to their retaining it for research.
Ooh.
By order of Vau Kona, the Skydeep Cenote was placed under the strict watch of the Landsguard.
Good. Good. Bakul Jaja, is he a Landsguard now?
With the mighty Bakul Jaja among their number, they shall not want for strength, even in Soralja's absence.
Well, Bakul Jaja was notably weaker, but it's good to have him in the group. I don't think you want to make him the captain, though.
Upon learning of their queen's passing, the people of Alexandria mourned and wept. Having devoted herself to sparing them sorrow, the sight might well have moved Sphene to tears. However, with Wuklamat carrying on her legacy, I have faith that her subjects will know joy once more.
I don't think they should make him the
As
king.
anticipated, the news that young Gululja had succeeded his father as king was greeted with trepidation. Reception was also mixed when Wuklamat came forward to name herself as the boy's guardian.
I mean, it's his nephew. It's a nephew.
But the people were mollified to learn that Everkeep systems remained operational, and there would be no impact on their lives.
Except for the souls being collected for the revival thing, right?
one day, when he is older, Golulja will decide for himself what manner of ruler he will be. Till that day and beyond, may the path of the young king be illuminated by the love of family.
Evanville smiling. That's always good. Ooh.
Meanwhile, in Tuliolab, the people came together to hail their new
Oh, they're doing
servants.
that bit. I love that bit.
Having honored those they lost, they turned their attention to a brighter future and celebrated for 3 days and nights.
That's a long celebration. I guess they did save the world, so... Oh, the kids look very cute in those outfits. They're doing this, but they don't know what a plane is. I guess they're doing a bird. What am I talking about? And there's Gryle. You would have thought with there being short people such a big thing, everyone would just have like a stool in front of them, in front of their shop, so that people could see it at full. Yeah, you don't want to go near that. The blimmin' armor's too spiky. It might actually hurt the kids.
Not everything had been resolved, though. Those who had spent 30 years in the dome struggled to resume their former lives. This and a host of other challenges remained.
Did they put another one down, or is this the original one? Can she see it?
As the new Dawn servants continue to lead with strength and wisdom, the people may be assured that peace will endure.
Is this the after credit scene where something bad's happening? It's a black screen. At least get the credits going so I know that. Yep, cool. Right. So, my general opinion of this, now that it's over with. The early parts where you're doing the trials, I think, and like the starting bit where you're meeting Wuklomat, I think they're the strongest part of it. This part where you meet Wuklomat, where you're sort of learning about her character. She's this sort of like arrogant youth that thinks she can do whatever she wants. She doesn't want to tell anyone else about... She doesn't want to like burden anyone else. She wants to be this invincible leader that she thinks her dad is. And then learning slowly through all of those trials that she doesn't need to be that. She needs to be better. Learning about the other promises. Learning about Bakul Jar Jar being that kind of cartoon-style villain that's always trying to undermine you in some way or another, but you're always beating them in one way or another. I think it slows down a bit. I didn't particularly like the goblin one, the moblin one. I didn't particularly like that one, but that was just mainly because I don't think I really caught with that story very much. I think it's the weaker of the ones. I still think it was good. I think all of it was good, but that bit was probably the weaker of them. What's the next bit? There was the bit where you're doing with the Yogg-Haul. I love the Yogg-Haul conceptually, but I thought that the beast that we had to beat, I thought it was a bit lackluster. They put all of this work into showing off how powerful this beast is. All of the Dawn Servant before, with all of his adventuring companions, couldn't beat it, you know? But the story to me didn't reflect that hugely. I think beating it instantly and it not really causing a metric ton of damage, other than the fact that it knocked out a couple people of the Yogg-Haul and that's it, made it feel a little lackluster in my opinion. But overall, that first half up to when she becomes the Dawn Servant with him, was all bang out. One of my favorite parts of expansion since Heaven's Sword. In terms of after that, I think the Wild West bit is by far the weakest bit of the whole thing. I think that it was completely useless. I don't at the very least with the Moblin bit, with the release of the beast and covered in the ice, I understand the logic behind why it was there. Like, the beast being released from the ice it's supposed to show that you are not so far away from the Dawn Servant and his party. You're actually, the others are closer in strength than they actually initially thought. And it was also supposed to show you the cracks in the first promise, like he's not as perfect as he tries to make himself, and what everyone else seems to think he is, kind of thing, right? And I understand that the Moblins bit is supposed to give you that crafter, it's supposed to show off the Moblin culture, and it's supposed to show off the, I believe it shows off another part of Bukul Jar Jar. But the Wild West bit I just don't understand. It establishes the friend of Erenville's mother, who doesn't seem plot relevant in a lot of things. I guess it establishes that Erenville, more of Erenville's character, kind of, but I don't think this bit was worth the whole story. The whole bit with the corrupt sheriff and the corrupt deputy sheriff and the plucky young kid that works for vigilante group, I don't understand that. I don't understand the logic behind that, unless it's supposed to be some sort of comparison with the later stuff you do in Alexandria. I just don't understand the point of that Wild West bit. I don't understand the point of the train either. It's shown off at the start. You never really ride it until you slam it into the thing. But I don't understand the point of it. I think to a certain extent what should have been done is, I believe that they should have made you go to that city. Made you see how that city is. Maybe not meet Erenville's mother, but go into that city. Then you go out for something. And then boom, it gets domed. Another part that I don't particularly like about the Wild West bit is they show this obvious sort of Native American, Native American equivalent, because there's the Wild West bit, and then there's the people who are more nature based, that are initially, they've been lived there longer, and live more, you know, less technology based and everything. But you never see anything with them. There's no real point to that part of the story either, other than the fact, I guess it warns you that something bad's gonna happen. But I don't think that's realistically needed. Also, they show off these two people in the coronation bit of Wuklama and the second promise, who I always forget the name of, and also can't pronounce his name when I do remember it. These two people, one of them looks like they're from this Native American group, because they kind of look like they look very similar to the father and chief of the group. The other one, I think, is just another person related to them. But they show these two people, and they're notable because they're people that don't look like every other model that they've copied to make the crowd, you know? And they never come up again. They never come up at all again, and I don't understand if this is something maybe that appears more in the blue quests or something, or whether I've completely missed their part of the story, or whether it'll be in the patch quests. But it felt odd to include that in the cutscene of it showing all these copies of people doing the same action, and then a cut to these two people, and these two people actually aren't related to the story in any way. Then we go on to Alexandria, and that sort of part of the story. I think it's weaker than the first half. I still think it's pretty strong. I think just a lot of the story elements it's trying to show off, I've sort of seen done before. And that's not a knock at them, because they've done it in their own way. But because of that, I think it made it less of a impact as it maybe originally was supposed to be. Sphene instantly I knew was going to be an antagonist, because they were making out how nice she was, which feels weird for me to go, oh, they're making her out how that she's really, really nice, she must be an antagonist. But if they're doing that, they're doing it for a reason, and a lot of the time they're doing that for the reason is to then lower your opinion of the whole thing. Anyway, I loved the sort of time skip, but you weren't affected by the time skip thing that was done in there. But I kind of wish we saw more of the people that... This is the reason why I wish we had gone to the city first, then it got domed. Because I wanted to see more of an impact of like, oh, these are people we've seen, but time and being in this situation has changed them, and now we're coming back and they barely remember us because it's been 20 years. I mean, sure, I would have only been 6 or 5, but I don't remember anyone that was when I was 20 years ago, you know? 20 years is a long time. The difference between 20 and 40 is huge, you know? It's the difference between a young adult and probably having your life together. So yeah, I wish there was more of that, and we don't really see it. I was interested when we met the Resistance, and it was Erenville's mother. I instantly thought, oh, she's dead, or like something's happened to her, because you don't do that kind of thing without there being that kind of reason behind it. But I did like seeing that there is resistance. It did feel a bit unrealistic that everybody instantly went and decided to adopt this, and there wasn't any outliers when it hadn't even been a lifetime. You know, I understand if it had been a couple generations, but it wasn't. And you do see more of them with the blind lady and them seeming to have their own place where they're deciding not to do any of the revival stuff. In terms of inside, I mean, it just felt like a cyberpunk world. That stuff was... It was interesting to see Sphene and the interaction between people that obviously don't care about accidentally dying to, like, a falling boulder or something. I kind of wish that we got more of it. If you're going to do that bit, cut out the Wild West bit. Put half of the Wild West story into the actual city itself, and then half of that story into other layers of Alexandria. It's a problem that I've had with a couple of the expansions. It's less of a problem here, but it is still a problem that is notable. I kind of wish that the story was Dawntrail is you helping Wuklamat become the Dawn Servant, and it leaves with the first promise leaving in being disgruntled, activating the portal, and then disappearing, and that's the end of the expansion. And obviously it wouldn't be as short as that bit was, because you'd extend it more. You'd make the cultures of each of the different tribes a bit more of a thing. You'd make that big beast that was let out of the ice a much more of a final boss. You'd make it feel like it's, oh god, it's actually this incredible threat. Maybe the original Dawn Servant goes out to fight it thinking, oh, you guys aren't ready, gets murked by it. And then it's you with Kettenram learning about this creature from somebody who was already there, and figuring out what's happening with that. And then you had the second expansion be some sort of other name, I don't know what you'd call it. But you have the second expansion being, you start off with the city that you were going to go to. That city, you sort of explore in that city all of the different people there, you learn about the culture there, and then you go off to do something. Maybe it's relating to that Native American part and those two people that we saw. And then once you've done that, the place gets domed. Then you go into the dome. Maybe with a train. Maybe you take out the train bit. And then you go into there. You have Alexandria. You have the outside as normal. You can have that story. But because you're not halfway through the expansion by the time you've even started going over that bridge, you have a hell of a lot more to use on the different floors of Alexandria, and getting you more into Alexandria, and maybe even being a bit, like, having a bit more interaction and doing more stuff with the Resistance members. And seeing the place some more as it is. Maybe Sphne's a much longer ally to you than she is in the actual story. And then you have all that happens with Zeroljar and then her. I think it would have been better, in my opinion. Overall, though, I liked Alexandria. I thought Zeroljar. I wish there was a bit more of a story with them, but there was a decent story, especially with his son. I thought her and the stuff with the Endless. I brought it up a bit in the ending cutscene, but I felt like they could have done a bit more with Perseverance. Maybe having them be the effective, like, hidden hands behind her that are effectively not controlling her, but without her knowledge, manipulating parts of her memories to keep her as sort of the figurehead. Because it felt like they were kept mentioning this preservation or perseverance, so I forget which one it is, but and the fact that they co-opted the Kryle's parents into it, but they didn't like it, and they mention them constantly, and then they're never really brought up. And they might be brought up in the patch quest. That might be part of the patch quest or something, but I just found that a bit weird in my head, that they just were this big part of it that were just never brought up. Overall, though, I love both parts. I thought both parts were very engaging. It might be the bias of me playing it on stream, but I was a lot more engaged in this story than I was engaged in, especially Endwalker. Shadowbringers I was vaguely interested in. Especially with the final villain. I very much liked him. I call him Hades because I don't remember what his actual name was. But I really liked his stuff. A lot of people were saying, and these are the only bits I learned about people's opinions on this stuff. A lot of people were saying that they didn't like Wuklamat. And I have to disagree. The reason why I bring this up is because I thought Wuklamat was one of the best parts of it. I thought Wuklamat's journey and the progression we saw with the character progression was the only person I could compare it to would be Alphino in Heaven's Ward or Heaven's Sword. I really, really liked it. I thought the story of them going from this young, rambunctious, naive, take everything on myself, don't let other people do it, but overall nice person, to this strong, brave, willing to take advice and help from other people, willing to learn other people's cultures. Something that they never seemingly had done before, which I think is a bit of a weird thing that the Dawn Servant at that time did not think to give them more of a upbringing in terms of the culture. The fact that there's this one festival that the Hanu Hanu do, and that hasn't been taught to you when you haven't been to it, bar once when you were a kid. And it wasn't, it wasn't taught in like an education of any kind. Feels a bit weird. I really liked Wuklamat. I really liked the Second Promise. I think Kryl is the only sort of disappointment in terms of story. I think Kryl was done really badly here. I didn't care about Kryl's story at all until the ending, which was emotional, sure. But it wasn't because I was interested in a story. It's because being able to meet your parents who had to abandon you when you were young, and finally getting to meet them, but knowing that it's the only time you're going to meet them because they're about to literally be killed by you, is a very sad situation. The story leading up to that was nothing. There was nothing to it. Kryl seemed like a side, not even a side character. It really feels like the secondary story was more Erenville. Erenville got a lot more of a story to it. Because you start off and you just think, oh, he's just this guy who helped me. Then you learn about his beast knowledge. You learn about his relationship, like friendship with Wuklamat. You learn about his mother's goal that he got given, about going out there, finding the Golden City, his recommendation to the students of Bastillion. You learn about his sort of feelings about his mother, but overall loving her, even though she always went out on adventures, taking on that goal. There was more of a character journey there than I feel like they gave Kryl. Even though they gave Kryl her own class, well, gave her a new class, they gave her this whole journey. She's half of the reason you even go out there. It doesn't feel like they actually fleshed out her story that much more than that. I feel like that's another reason why there would have been a really good incentive to split it into 2 expansions. Because Alexandria, then you could explore more of Kryl learning of the culture that she now knows she's from. Maybe even seeing more of an impact from what her parents had done. Accounts maybe from people who didn't have the memory erasing things about stuff they had done. You know, that kind of stuff. I don't know, that bit I feel like was a bit of a disappointment, but overall I had a lot of fun, a lot of fun with this. I think another thing that I will praise them to, I'll praise them a lot with this, that was not done in Shadowbringers and Endwalker. The dungeons that everyone has to do do the story are simple enough. Most of them are simple enough that you understand the basic mechanics of it very quickly. Very, very quickly. Even for someone like me who does not learn it quickly. And even if you don't understand it, and it just can't come into your head, because of the NPC things, you just follow them, and it's fine. It's not there's not a lot of, if any, situations where they're like, boop, we're popping you out, you've got to do something on your own. You know? And if they do happen, I can guarantee the NPCs are effectively telling you in like a, oh, what do we do, kind of like in character. They're telling you what to do. It's not a kind of you're on your own kind of thing. You've got to have learned these mechanics. The only time where I felt like that was a thing was in that final fight there. And that's the only time I didn't have NPCs with me. Because I don't know what you were supposed to do against that final sort of... that ultimate attack she did. Overall, I'd put this... In my rankings, I've got Heaven's Sword up here as my number 1. It used to be that my number 2 was... a joint between Stormblood and Shadowbringers, but I think it's now been pipped, and I now think it's Stormblood. It's now Heaven's Sword, Dawntrail, Shadowbringers, and Stormblood equal Endwalker. And I know that that's controversial because I know people love Endwalker and I know people love Shadowbringers, but my personal experience with it, and it could have been my attitude going into it, could have been that I wasn't streaming it, but I just didn't care for it. It just didn't keep my attention too much. Not many of the characters were particularly memorable for me. The cultures didn't interest me. I think they did a lot better here at teaching you the cultures and teaching you all the stuff related to them. I think there's many characters here that I will remember even after I've finished this expansion and it's been a while. For example, Bakul Jar Jar, I think I will remember for a while because I think his character arc was really good. I think Wuklamat I will remember for a while. I think I will remember Otis as the Royal Knight for a while. I think I'll remember Sphene. And I think I will remember the original Dawn Servant, even if I don't remember his name. So overall, I think... Although I have problems with it, with some parts of it, I have problems with almost every expansion. Well, every expansion. So that's not a huge problem in the scheme of things. I really, really liked it. I really, really liked Dawn Servant. But I can understand if you didn't like Wuklamat, that you wouldn't like this whole expansion. Because they heavily focus on Wuklamat. Yeah, let's skip this. Where do we go next? Is that literally what my character's thinking? Wuklamat.
I'm sorry, we haven't been able to talk properly. Oh, between the reconstruction work and Papa's funeral, I've hardly had time to breathe.
No worries.
But at long last, there's a lull in my duties. You've done more for us than we could ever hope to repay. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, no worries.
When we left Eorzea behind to take part in the contest, none of us could have predicted what complications would follow.
True.
You truly have a knack for finding trouble, my friend.
Hey. I have a knack for saving people from trouble.
And you wouldn't have it any other way.
Maybe if it wasn't world ending.
So what's next for you? Assuming you're still set on leaving the Gleaner's life behind?
Oh, is he not being a gleaner anymore?
I'm off to fulfill my mother's dream, of course.
Explore the land.
Like she had intended, I'll embark on a journey in search of the unknown. She's sure to enjoy my stories when we meet again in the Ethereal Sea.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, sounds like a plan. But will you have the coin to get by?
He's a gleaner. He probably made a decent amount of money from it.
I may no longer be a gleaner, but I still have contacts in Sharlayan. Contacts with deep pockets, always eager to pay for information on new or rare species.
Do they want to know about the species in the other dimension that we have?
You've got it all worked out. And what of you? Any new adventures in the offing? Regardless, until you're ready to leave, you're our guest here in Tulihyolal. And this time, I won't pester you to take up a post.
Look, you can give me a post.
By now, I know you well enough to know you can't stay in one place. No more than you can ignore the plight of those in need. Your
That is
path
true.
will always lead you elsewhere, and you'll continue walking it. Isn't that so?
I might retire when I'm like 200. If my character can live that long.
Adventurer to the marrow you are. What is it exactly that spurs you on?
My love for the star. My love for the star. I think that was the reaction you'd always get. Is it gonna light? A light. Do something. Oh no, okay. Oh, it's Fiend's crown. Someone gonna pick it up? No, okay. I only just noticed that it has a heart on it. Well, as much as I'd like to keep chatting, I need to get going. Still have heaps of things to do, and it wouldn't do to leave it all to Konoha. By the way, did Garul Jar decide to remain in Solution 9? He did. I said that he could consider Turial his home, but he's more comfortable over there. Shale keeps an eye on him for us. But we'll visit him as often as we can. He still needs our support, especially when he's agonizing over his inherited authority. Though I told him he needn't make a decision right away. We can't postpone it forever either. I'll do whatever I can to help Garul Jar, as well as everyone inside that dome. I promised as much to Sphene. For my part, I'll be keeping to Tural for a time. Among other things, I'd like to look into the problem with the wildlife in Shalaloni. So if you get the urge, Notta, let's go on another journey together. There's still plenty of places I'd like to show you. Wow, now that sounds like fun. If you're ever in need of me, I'll come running. Oh, and before I forget, I also have a gift for you. Can you guess what it is? Is it a taco? It's an alpaca! It comes from Tobley's stable, of course, and it's as sure-footed as they come. Perfect for an adventurer who's always on the move, eh? Here, this is the whistle for calling it. I got a new mount! Right, I really have... I'll really get going now, but I'm sure we'll meet again soon. Till next time, take care! Boom, boom. Damn, I was expecting them to appear in my inventory there. Ooh, what's happening here? They still have enough power to power. In fact, they have abundance of power, because they were powering the Endless before. Oh, everyone's sad. Why is everyone sad? I guess Sphene still. Ooh. Fellow citizens of Alexandria, ever since our beloved queen's passing, you have understandably abided in grief. Sorrow darkens your ever-bright faces. But is this what Her Majesty would have wished to see? No, most assuredly not. You know this to be true. If we are to honor her memory, we must proclaim our smiles. To that end... It's like powering up my blooming computer. I guess that's literally the point. Oh, this is the gladiatorial pits they had to shut down because of the wall jar and everything, right? Because there wasn't enough souls. I guess they can still use beast souls unless people are against that. What a mustache. That's right, friends. After a long hiatus, I am pleased to announce the grand reopening of the Arcadian. Probably Arcadian. The realm's finest fighters stand ready to entertain you in glorious and thrilling combat. Come and join us, I bid you, and let your cares be forgotten. As the sky aflame proclaims night's end, and thoughts upon adventure tend the brave, make haste. Oh! I didn't have enough time! So what do? Do you reckon we continue on and we do patch quests? You know, I kind of want to do patch quests, you know? Let's go and do that. Ah, it's a pleasure as always, Notta. Have you been able to relax lately? No, I just finished killing the dude. Wonderful. As busy as you've been, with the rite of succession among other things, you deserve an opportunity to experience Turial at a more leisurely pace. Sampling the tacos is one such way to do so. They've made the traditional way and laden with filling, and absolutely sublime. If you have an empty stomach, the owner will look after you. Yes, I did specifically not say the names. That's because I was scared of getting the names wrong. Nope, that's the minstrel that has higher level boss quests, and that's the hunter thing that I don't care about. Alright, let's get a taco. Well, if it isn't Notta alone today. Are you? I see. If you have a hankering for tacos, then they're on the house. Consider it thanks for everything you've done for Turial. Go ahead and find a table. I'll bring you your meal as soon as it's ready. How much you want to bet the Wooklamat suddenly appears? Ooh, 3 different types. You still love tacos, I hope. You ate so many when you turned 5, you can barely move afterwards, remember that? Oh, he doesn't remember because he was stuck in the 20-year thing. No, not really. That was 30 years ago for me. Right, sorry. Still, it's still strange for me too. Just the other day, you were a little boy clinging to your mother's skirt as you set off. And now, you're a man. A grown man with a full face of hair. Even so, I knew you were my son the instant I saw you. We're still family, and you can always rely on me. Relying. That feels like the only thing I'm doing right now. On you and everyone else. I can't even start a fire without the assistance at my new job. Back in Alexandria, we had electrope. If I needed fire, all I do was press a button. Everything was at our fingertips. But here I'm helpless. A culinarian who can't even light the stove. The way the others in the kitchen stare at me. Gods, I'd never felt so embarrassed. I'm sorry to hear that. I've been told the tales, but it seems life is really different within the dome. My wife and children, I was thinking I'd have them join me once things had settled, but at this rate... I say you send for them. If they're your family, then they're mine too. I'll do whatever's necessary to make it work. I didn't mean to overhear, but it seems you're having trouble readjusting to life in Turial. Thou Wooklamat? To aid folks like yourself, we've established a support group. To aid folks like yourself, we've established a support group at the Wings of Reflection. There you can learn the skills you need to live outside the dome. It isn't easy being back, I know, but I'm hopeful that they can make things easier. That's exactly what I'll need. I'll definitely seek this group out, and I'll bring my family with me. Thank you. Oh, look who it is. I was just about to go and find you, Notta. You don't mind the company, I hope. I could use a bite to eat myself. Yeah, sure. Ah, the tacos have never disappointed. So what have you been up to lately? I've been exploring Torial with my trusted alpaca. God, I wish I could speak normally today. I'm glad that the spitting devil is serving you well, and you're still enjoying seeing the sights. As for myself, I've been kept busy with duties at the palace, but whenever I find a moment, I like to walk the streets and talk to people. That way I can better understand the problems they have and share them with Connor to figure out solutions. I was on one such walk just now. As I mentioned, I was hoping to find you. Connor and I have something we wish to discuss with you as Dawn servants. Do you have time to come to the palace? Yeah, I got nothing on. Great, I'll go on ahead. Please come and join us once you've finished here. I hope it's something related to me joining that arena. Because I'll be honest, I kind of want to join that arena. Even if they have to put restrictions on myself. Or they do like a me versus 100 men. I feel like I have done a fight where I mean, it was a group of me and 3 other people. But I think there is a group where we've killed... Whoa. Yeah, we did kill them. We killed about more than 100 men. Just because they were coming in waves, and it was this whole thing of like you were just like AoEing them instantly kind of thing. Mistress Notta, it's always an honor. Val Connor was stepped away to attend to a pressing matter, but he should join you within before long. But he should join you within before long. Is that grammatically correct? It doesn't seem grammatically correct. But he would join you within... Ah, I've already forgotten it. It's so weird to see a campfire in the middle of this like throne room. Oh god, it's everybody. Well, everyone except for Estinian, Yastola, and Orange. Ah, you're all here too? Val Conahar summoned us, though if truth be told, Alphino and I had been seeing him quite regularly as of late. He asked us to share our knowledge of Hannish culture, you see, in hopes of further strengthening your alliance. We were of course happy to oblige him. Oh, an Ascidian. Cryle and I were likewise summoned, otherwise we've been carrying on with our work compiling information on the Golden City. My grandfather embarked on his investigation 20 years ago. With our report, we shall finish what he had started. Lest you wonder, Thancred and Orange have left to resume their tour of Toral. Yastola, meanwhile, is back researching cross-rift travel. She was here just a few days ago to get permission to investigate living memory. By the way, she mentioned wanting to take a look at the key in your keeping at some point. If the look she had in her eye was any indication, I suggest you brace yourself for when she comes calling. You'll like to be stuck with her for a while. Maybe that'll be a side thing. As for Estinian, we know neither where he is nor what he's doing. Some things never change. Good old Estinian. Is he gonna have the little dragon lady with her? The little dragon lady? Oh no, it's just him. My apologies for the delay. Think nothing of it. Think nothing of it. We took advantage of the time to catch up. So what can we do for you? Hopefully present company is enough for whatever it is you need. The matter for which I have summoned you pertains to Alexandria. A state funeral will soon be held in Solution 9 to mourn the passing of Queen Sphene. King Karul Jar and his administration have invited us to attend. Feels weird for me, who killed her, to do it, but while certain issues remain unresolved between our nations, such as the treatment of the Yuslani, I see no reason not to attend. For generations, the Alexandrian lived without even awareness of death. I wouldn't have expected them to have a funeral rite still. Apparently, the members of Oblivion unearthed records of ceremonies that were conducted in Alexandria of old. It was they who put forth the proposal that the Queen be thus honoured. Leave it to that lot to think of such things. The people of Alexandria no longer forget the departed. They're being confronted with the idea of death for the first time. I suspect our friends wanted to do something for them. Though Sphene was but a simulacrum, she was nonetheless a pillar for her people. The pain of her passing must run deep. Indeed, a funeral will give Alexandrians the chance to come together to express their grief, that they might overcome it. I wasn't sure at first, but I've decided to go. Not only to be there for Garul Jar, but to put this chapter behind us. That I requested your presence was none other than to see if you wished to attend the funeral. You knew Sphene as well, after all. I did. I feel like it would be inappropriate. Because of your role in her demise, I take it. But we had no choice. We had to stop her from killing countless innocents. I won't force you to attend the funeral if it makes you feel uncomfortable, but while I represent Toriel in an official capacity, I'd like it if you could be there to watch over everything. Fine. I feel the rest of us should go too. Regardless of the reason, the fact remains that we deprived Alexandria of a beloved ruler. And also a tyrant. It's only right that we remember who Sphene was, to her people and to others. So let us stand with you. Then it's decided. Let's head to Solution 9 and look for Garul Jar in the back room. Wouldn't he be in the throne room? Crossroads. Oh, I don't think they've been naming the patch quests before. But maybe I'm completely wrong. I really don't like where this teleports me. But wait, hold on a second. We can just use this to Ethernet over to... Where is it? Here. We haven't got everything here, but we got a lot of them. A new challenger appears. Bow, 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 bow. It's not this place, is it? No. Right. I gotta go from there. Can't we bring electrope tools over here? Or is that not possible anymore? What's the soldier all about? Okay. That's not relevant to what I'm doing at the moment, sorry. Ah, you came for the funeral. Of course. I'm the only one who will officially take part, though. The others will watch over the proceedings. So how have you been? It's been a while since my last visit. I'm good. Shale is always teaching me new things. Recently I learned about the Everkeep system and the mechanical soldiers. It's knowledge I'll need to use my authority properly. Studious as always, I see. By way of a treat, I brought you a gâteau à chocolat. It's a kind of cake, I think you'll like it. Thank you, Lamity, and thank you for coming. I've never been to a funeral before, so I feel less nervous having you here. Out of curiosity, what are the customs in Alexandria? In our world, it's common to offer flowers to the departed. It's much the same here, according to the records. Flowers will be distributed to all attendees. Considering that all the worlds used to be one, the practice of offering flowers may share the same ancient origin. Fascinating, wouldn't you say? It is. I think Heidelin's group also did it. I say with a bunch of confidence that is just completely not useful. I don't have any confidence. The flowers are being handed out at Praxis Park. I'm thinking of heading over there now. We'll join you. There's a man I'd like to speak with, Gosen, who is apparently Sven's aide and the one who sent us the invitation. Come on then, let's go. By the way, was it Shale out here also that was like, needed me? No, that's Nostalgia. I literally said her name. Because her name's always very unique, because it's Nostalgia. Which I actually think is a really cool name. I was thinking about this, because there's a lot of, the naming scheme in base D&D. Where's Praxis Park? Oh, it's there. Is for the tieflings are that the names sort of are like emotions and stuff. I thought that'd be a really cool name for like a tiefling character. Why, I'm Val Wuckelmat of Torial. Thank you for extending us an invitation to Queen Sven's funeral. We are honored, truly. I have seen you before from a distance, but never had the pleasure. I am Gosen, former chief aide to the Queen. Since her passing, I have been responsible for administering affairs of state. Can we get our flowers here? Yes, your majesty. The flowers are being handed out at the counter yonder, alongside the regulators. What? Do we need to wear regulators for a funeral? Ah, rest assured, they are not a requirement. We're aware your people do not use them. You see, people in Alexandria of old wore tokens of mourning upon their persons while attending funerals. As such tokens were black, it was suggested that we might use regulators painted the same colour. We've yet to produce enough for everyone, but we're distributing them as we are able. I see. Yet regulator or no, the important thing is that we remember Queen's Fiend. Remember her and her kindness as you make offerings of your flower. I will. The proceedings will soon begin in the plaza. Please take your place once you have your flowers. I like the weird grate thing he's got here. It actually feels a bit more steampunk than it does cyberpunk. But I like it either way. Oh, they made a digital picture of her. That's a lot of people. You can pick out the people that were that are people with the orange coats on. Oh, they're not there when you Oh no, they are. There they are. You see the copies? I don't blame them for doing it, but it is quite funny to see. Is somebody gonna speak? Or is it a vow of is it a moment of silence kind of thing? Gotta be Gosen, right?
Although we are gathered here for the same reason, we hail from different lands. Some were born and raised in the Alexandria of old, while others came to us from Tuliola.
I never get the name right, and I don't think I ever will. It's now just a nickname for it.
It was from this union of diverse peoples that a new Alexandria was born. The only home that our younger generation knows.
That's true. The people born in the first 20 years, and probably the people that were born when that were like 2 or 3 when this happened as well.
How did we overcome the barriers between us? What moved us to join hands in common purpose beneath crackling skies? You know the answer. We survived. We thrived because Queen's Fiend brought us together.
Ah. It's true. Everyone did like her.
Inspired and encouraged by her boundless kindness, we strove to be better. For ourselves as well as those around us.
Do you reckon that this is going to end with them berating me and the group? There being like a stalwart Queen's Fiend supporters that think they're doing the right?
Absence, there is a sadness beyond words. Yet we must. We will remember her. Remember all the good that she has done for us. So let us pray, as the people of the Old Kingdom once did, for the peaceful repose of the departed.
Beautiful speech, Gosen. I'm assuming that you had a writer professionally do this.
Let us keep our beloved queen forever in our hearts, that her memory might guide us unto the morrow. Would that I could find solace in my own words.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to grieve. In their own way. You didn't even think to just not wear headphones to a funeral? None of you? Oh look, they put flowers on the little aetheryte as well. Does Garuljar have one? I don't see in his hand. Oh, it's got two heads because it's for both of them. Savage Garuljar didn't do a sign of respect.
Taken to the cloud.
No.
She must have been. To still remember her is strange, isn't it, darling?
I miss her. She would always cheer me up when I was down.
Oh.
But even though I remember her, I'll never see her again. That doesn't make sense.
It seems that's what it means to die, I'm afraid.
But what will happen to us? Are we just going to be sad forever?
What will happen indeed? Everything that we have, we owe to Queen Sphene. How are we to go on without her?
I still remember Her Majesty so clearly. If only I didn't, I might feel better about the future of our realm.
Perhaps we should also consider moving to Tuliolol. The journey won't be easy, but it'd be better than staying here in uncertainty.
In times like these, I take comfort in the beliefs of a Turali people called the Yokui.
They're great.
To them, death isn't the end. So long as we're remembered, we never truly die. It could be the same for Queen Sphene, you know? If you keep her alive in your hearts, she'll always be with you.
But we still won't be able to see her, right? I don't want to think about that.
Woklama, I have one what's the word? Complaint about how you're doing here. I think you're supposed to go to his eye level, not to below his eye
I
level.
wish I could just forget instead of having to feel like this.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to impose. Please, mourn your queen however you see fit.
Didn't work, did it?
As expected, they struggle to come to terms with their loss. I
Ho-
hope they can find a way to move forward.
Their whole life, they haven't had to deal with the loss of death, like death, ever.
It's not only grief that weighs on them, but worry for the future. Bereft of their queen, how will they proceed?
You need to get a queen.
True. But with that at least, we're not powerless to help.
That's true, we can help them. I'm surprised there's not more people from Turiel wanting to transfer over to here. The more adventurous people.
What is it, Guloja?
I was wondering, is it better to remember or forget someone when they're dead?
You learn lessons from them. I'd want to remember people.
I remember my father, and every time I think of him, it hurts. It's the same with Queen Sphene. Knowing that she's gone makes me feel sad. But it's different with my mother. I never knew her, so I don't feel as bad. I want to remember my father, but maybe I'd be better off forgetting him.
Glorja. Why don't we continue this somewhere else?
Probably a good idea. I am very surprised we didn't get shouted at for being the one who did it. Ooh. Are people going to try and turn it on and get the memories deleted? I hope they don't do that. Hey, Garulja, do you really know nothing at all about your mother? Chell searched the system for information on residents, but the only Mamul jar she found listed were my father and me. Even if she died and was erased from people's memories, she should have been there, but she wasn't. Well, that you're here means she was here too, inside the dome. There can't be any other way about it. Any other way about it? Do you want to know your mother? I think so. Even if it makes me feel sad, I want to know her. So I want to try looking again, and if I don't find anything this time, I'll give up. I see. Well, if that's what you want... then I'll help you. I'd like to help as well, and I believe I speak for the others too. Yeah, sure. But I can't bother you with this. You already came for the funeral. We came here only for the We came here not only for the funeral, but to see whether all was well in Alexandria. We're not about to leave just yet. Besides, in seeking to learn about your mother, we're bound to learn about your father as well. By retracing the steps of this man who kept his own counsel, we may gain knowledge that can serve the people of Alexandria. You're a clone. I'm convinced you're a clone. Alright, thank you everyone. That doesn't even cost the one teleport I did. That quest complete. Assuming neither memories nor records of Garuljar's mother remains, we must cast as wide a net as possible. I suggest we split into groups. Notta, if you could make inquiries outside in the outskirts, the rest of us will do the same in Solution 9. Why do I have to go to the furthest bit? How does that seem fair? Sure, I'll make my way to the outskirts. Middle-aged Tonawata. Sorry, I've never heard of a Mamuljar woman living in these parts. Most that's connected to Kazaruljar. You might have better luck talking to the people over at Tonawata settlement over to the north of Everkeep. It's in a place called Uwayatu. The resilient son won their loyalty when he saved them from some crisis or another, or so the story goes. If I remember correctly, their chief's name was Canolaka. Canolaka. God, I'm bad with names. They're never going to be called John Stewart, are they? Something simple like John Major. Or Major John. Or Crowd Control. A Mamuljar woman? Their people have not been a common sight around here. Why, the last time I saw one would have been before the dome came over our heads. She was among an entourage of landsguards that were dispatched here. I assume they will return to Real after the mission, but if any remained, I suppose they could have been trapped in here with the rest of us. I am kind of surprised that there wasn't a single lizard person that actually came over here. It was a whole city. And, like, I know that they, only half of them decided to go to Taral. But some of them surely would make the journey. You're looking for a Maruljar woman? Oh, Garuljar's mother. I can't help you there, I'm afraid. I only know a little about Zaruljar, and then only when my father told me. He said that before the dome cut us off from the outside world, a Taral Vidal had appeared and was terrorizing the region. In response, Zaruljar assembled a party of warriors, and with them confronted and felled the beast. It was interesting to hear of the king's feat in the past. Interesting. Wait, I've got to go all the way back? Oh. I'd be annoyed if I really cared about all the money I'm really spending. Oh, they're having a little dance. It's not the best dance, but they're fine. Hold on a second. Let me just do this. Move, move. Don't know why they're there. You heading to the back room? Yeah, I am, mate. Hello, Shale. Garuljar's told me all. We previously tried to track down records of his mother, but came up empty-handed. With everyone's help, hopefully we can get somewhere this time. Bam! 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 Ah, so you spoke with quite a few different people as well. Let's combine all our findings and see what conclusion we might draw. So Zaruljar brought a retinue of Landsguard here, among whom was a female Mamuljar. His mission was to rid the region of a Taral Vidal, and I believe it's safe to say that was the crisis in Uawatu he resolved. If some of his troops stuck around for a time, perhaps to assist the villagers with recovery efforts, then they could indeed have gotten trapped in the dome. We also heard about stories about the settlement in that place. People lived there until nearly a decade ago, and Zaruljar made regular visits. If he required secrecy, a location home to his most loyal followers would be ideal. And if this Maruljar woman had remained there, they would have had occasion to come in contact. I see, but what could Zaruljar have been doing in that village? I think we can answer that question. In order to retrace Zaruljar's steps, Raha and I spoke with a researcher who worked at eugenics. He said that, approximately 20 years ago, a number of his colleagues were transferred to a research station outside of Everkeep, per the King's direct orders. This is the first time I've heard of such a facility. Only Vanguard was believed to have been under King's jurisdiction. It was apparently being used to develop a new kind of weapon, and I'm afraid that's all we could learn. Pardon me? It's plenty to go on, and even if the work there was classified, any materials and equipment needed would have been manufactured within Everkeep. So if we look into transportation records... There it is. The routes are all full of detours and attempts at obfuscation, but large deliveries were made to that place, far too large for a mere village. There hasn't been any activity for years, though. It's likely the facility has been decommissioned. Do you think that's where my mother was? We can't say for certain just yet, but I reckon there's a good chance. This is amazing! Even though no one remembers her, you managed to figure all of this out! Each piece of a puzzle may reveal little on its own, but when we put several together, a picture begins to form. And even should memories fade, footprints remain to mark the path of those who walked before. A lesson I learned in another life. Shall we... So we'll be investigating this secret facility in this village, then? And this time, I want you to come along, Garuljar. Sure. The village is on the other side of the lake. To get there, you'll need to take a hover cargo from Drift Downs. Alright then, thank you, Shale. Garuljar's so cute. Hope there's an Aetherite over there. Yeah, there's an Aetherite relatively close. Look, we're going to go over there. We're very likely not going to do any of the other stuff related to it. But we will... Oh, it's going to be a dungeon, isn't it? I just realised it's almost certainly going to be a dungeon, isn't it? If it is a dungeon... Why are these untradeable? Market prohibited. Okay, you're gone. Oh, and also, while I'm here, I drink some juice. If it's a dungeon, we'll probably have to call it today. Because I don't have enough time to also go into a dungeon. But if there's no dungeon, which is possible, then we're good. What's this? Fight to survive. There's that big thing again. So the hovercar will take us across the lake. I've never been over there before. It's still inside the dome, but it's still inside the dome. But so I don't expect it'll be too different from here. We'll likely encounter dangerous beasts, so the rest of us will go first. You follow when it's safe to do so, alright? Alright, be careful, everyone. Field station, there it is, yeah. Right, we're going to have to call it there. I hope everybody's had fun watching this. I hope everybody's had fun watching just Dawntrail in general. I mean, it's been a long journey, but we're actually done with it. We're probably going to go through all the patch quests we can, even if it leaves at a weird point in the story. And then we're going to go over to Guild Wars 2. And we're going to start that. So I hope everybody's had fun. I've had a load of fun with this. I'll see you on Monday for Weather 1. Wednesday for more. I almost said Baldur's Gate, but Baldur's Gate's over. Expedition 33. And more of this next Friday. But until then,